Hello, everyone. Chris Weiser coming to you. Really excited to bring you tonight my brand new webcast, the Cold Lead Blueprint. We're going to go through all kinds of different ways that we can bring you a ton of cold leads to your pipeline. Really excited. So we're going to dive right into the webcast. Those of you that are watching with me, thank you for coming. Hope you learned a lot today. Please pay attention. Please do me this favor, turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook, turn off all this other stuff. If you really want to do this and you're serious about getting results, please pay attention. This is not a hugely long webcast, but it's really relevant, good information that honestly will just flow from me naturally. So that's one thing that I want you to do is please pay attention, turn off your phones, turn off Facebook, turn off all those distractions, and we'll fly through. So a lot of you are new with me here today. I kind of want to give you some background of who I am. My name is Chris Weiser. You can see various pictures of me there. There's my beautiful wife, Sarah, right next to me. We were actually at the Grammys a couple of years ago. So we do a lot of cool things because of the lifestyle that I've been able to build for myself. Most of this is because of all of the sales and lead systems that we've been able to create here at the Weiser Agency. So this is a really exciting thing. So why should you listen to me? Like how relevant am I? What things can I bring you? First of all, I ran a very successful IT services business for 10 plus years. I actually was able to successfully sell that firm in June of 2015 for over 7 figures. So I had a very good exit, but I'm a not super old guy. I'm about to turn 42. So that doesn't mean that I'm never going to work again, that kind of stuff. So some people say, well, you sold your company. Why aren't you retired? Honestly, I'd be bored out of my mind is why I'm not retired for the most part. But I love to help people. I love to do all these different things. And I've been focused on finding ways to help other entrepreneurs and individuals build more revenue, and specifically recurring revenue. Recurring revenue is key, and so many businesses don't realize that they need a primary income source that is absolutely recurring. My Facebook ads course currently has instructed over 500 students and right now has over 100 students in the mastermind. So we have a large Facebook ads course. And my inner circle, my one-on-one inner circle, and my group coaching programs have over 50 members. Many, if not almost all, I think almost all have seen a 50% or more monthly recurring revenue. That's the term MRR you're going to see increase. So we've seen massive growth from all of my prospects, all of my clients, and that's why you should listen to me. You don't have to. I'm not going to sit here and make you listen to me, but you're here. Let's work on it together. It will help you grow. So one thing I'm going to tell you guys, if you do stay until the end with me, it's not going to be super long, but if you do stay until the end with me, I'm going to give you my brand new LinkedIn Ultimate Sales Guide. That's going to help you out. It's totally free. You just got to stay to the end to get the link. So we'll see you in a few minutes when you get that. As we keep going here, I'm going to ask you, I think almost everybody in the business world has heard of LinkedIn, right? You've heard of the platform LinkedIn. How many of you are actually on it? I'm going to say almost all of it, and maybe we can see a couple of yeses in the chat window. Yeah, we see a couple hands up there, so that's great. I'd love to see that. But here's the real question. I don't mean just on LinkedIn, but how many of you are actually using LinkedIn? Not just sitting there, opening the app periodically, or going out on your cell phone or on the app on there, or opening up a website browser and just kind of putzing around. I mean, really, really using it. Think about what is your goal on LinkedIn? What things are you going to do? What mindset do you have behind that? What are your goals to make that work? Are you doing lead gen? Are you just trying to generate traffic for your profile? What's your whole goal there? Are you trying to do traffic for your business or your mindset? Or maybe you're a founder, CEO like me and some of the attendees on with me here today. Those are all important things. Or you may be trying to turn it into an online resume. And my brother's trying to get a job right now, so he's building his LinkedIn page just for an online resume. So think about what your goal is and take that kind of the next step and really start to grow it. What's really, really important, regardless of what your goal is you have to build your ideal vertical target. Now, I prefer to use LinkedIn for a lead gen tool. It's fantastic for that. And I think in the last few months to even a year to 2 years, Microsoft has purchased LinkedIn and they've made it a very, very serious platform. They've actually taken it very serious. But one of the things that I see is it's kind of turned into this spammy messaging world. People blast me with messages and they're trying to sell me immediately on the first message all the time. And then they're also rarely vertically focused. So it's really important that you pick a vertical. I don't care whether, what type of sales you're in. I actually come from the IT service provider industry. We picked very specific verticals that we knew were good fits and we made marketing plans to go after them. Now, one of the things I'm going to tell you all that are watching with me here today, it's really important that you can take anybody on as a client. I have no problem with that. You can take anybody, but keep in mind, we're actively targeting someone. We're going after a vertical or going after a genre or a niche or whatever you want to call it. Actually, somebody got in an argument with me once and they called it a niche versus a niche. I don't care which one it is, but the bottom line is you have to do some focus as you're going outside and targeting. Think of it very similar to dating. If you're going out and you go into a dating room and you just say, I'll take anybody here, you can't really get a whole lot of good focus on that. We all have a specific thing that we like in a partner, and we're going after that specific things. In this world, it's got to be very similar to that. This is sales. You are actively going out. So as you are searching, find your ideal vertical target and take a second right now and maybe even write down that ideal client. Who are you looking for? What would your ideal client be? Those are things to think about, and those are very, very relevant items that you have to have on top of your head as you start to write down your goals. What makes them ideal? Think about that out loud. What makes them ideal? Who are your top clients? Maybe that's some traits that you want to follow and replicate. What makes those traits better? What makes those clients better? All those things are things you have to think about. Are they signing long-term deals with you? Do they pay on time every time? They're not a pain in the ass. That's what the PITA means. All of those things are relevant because as you go out, you want to try and replicate those best clients. You don't want to just take anybody that you can come on. Now, keep in mind, this is all about positioning. So if you have people that are coming to you, okay, you can take them. But this is, again, active outside lead gen. We're going to go after people. So we are going to want to go after people that we most want. That's ideal, right? So think about that as you start to write down your ideal client. Those are all relevant things. And even as you go, dig deeper and deeper into your head. Why would I want them? Do I want the decision maker at that client? Why would I want them? And then who do I want to talk to at that client? Do I want the decision maker? Do I want a specific title? Do I want any of these specific things that we're going to go after? Maybe a company with a certain number of employees or even a certain amount of revenue. And that's really things that you have to think about. And then as you start to go with this, you're going to start crafting a message that's going to want to have some type of client or end user pain tied to it. You have to make them feel pain to resonate. Any type of message that you're going to send through your initial messaging has to make them realize, first of all, you're going to go after your ideal target, but then as you message them, you have to make them realize that they have to feel some pain. The more that pain hurts, the more you as the doctor can heal them. Those are all things to remember and all things to go after, right? So think about what you're going to do on LinkedIn. And one of the things that I really, really recommend to all of you is you can do this in a completely free manner. You can go out on LinkedIn as a whole. You can use the active search. This is a little bit better with LinkedIn Premium. This is a short webinar today, so I can't necessarily go through all of those different things. But LinkedIn Free used to have a ton of options. It's a little bit less now. It's better, or it was a little bit better on LinkedIn Free than it is now. You're a little bit limited, but LinkedIn Premium has a lot of search features. You can actually search for second and third degree connection requests pretty easily, even as a free LinkedIn member. And start out by making those second and third degree connection requests. I really recommend starting out with 50 to 100 every day. You can search for different types of leads in there, and you can find different ways. But I really recommend making 50 second degree or even third degree connection requests every day. You can search for a specific type of client. And the reason I mentioned all that stuff about think of your ideal client earlier is it's important to realize that you're going after a certain vertical. Think of who they are. You can search by that vertical. You can search by the type of client. You can search all kinds of different ways. Those are things to remember. That's something to think about as you go. So I recommend making 50 to 100 second and third degree connection requests. Keep in mind, this is the free way of doing it. I'm going to show you LinkedIn Sales Navigator in a few minutes, and that is a paid way to do it, and it's a heck of a lot more efficient, but there's a lot of people that are on a shoestring budget, and they can't really afford to pay, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is $80 a month. So it gets a little bit pricey, but as you start to generate leads and lists, that's really key. So I'm going to show you how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to build lists in a few minutes. But right now, this is the free way explicitly. I recommend then tracking those connection requests in a manual spreadsheet for right now. We're going to get into automation down the road in some of the webinars that I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you some of that stuff. but keep track of them. You can literally copy their profile address and just, that's all you have to do. Keep track of it in a spreadsheet for now. It's pretty simple to do. And then as you see them expire, you can actually go into into your connections and then manage all option and go to the sent option. So you go connections, manage all, and then into sent. And you can actually track which ones are older. And the ones that are over 2 weeks old, just fire them off or do a resubmission to delete them and resubmit them. But the bottom line is you want to get rid of those so you keep your window about 2 weeks, because that's about 2,000. If you figure you're doing 100 a day, 2 weeks is going to give you a good amount. That's going to give you 14 days worth. That's 1,400. If you do a little bit more on the side here and there, that's going to give you a lot of connection requests that are potentially not accepted. So you want to eliminate those every 2 weeks. And then for each connection request that accepts, send them something of value completely free. Give them some type of a training. Give them a guide. Give them something that you would find with them. Each niche, and we talk about that specific vertical or that specific niche I was talking about earlier, research that niche and find out the one thing that they need or want the most. This is really, really critical. Think about your prospect, that ideal prospect. If you were to give them anything in the world, what would it be? And try and give them something related to that. It doesn't even necessarily have to relate to your business per se. I've given away a lot of different things that are not anything that would help me, but would help my prospect. So, because really what you're trying to do here is you're trying to develop some type of a relationship. You're trying to get them to respond. You're trying to get them to like you and do different things related to you. You want them to, bottom line is, see your message, acknowledge what you sent them, and respond back so you can begin a conversation and potentially have a relationship. Again, this is the free way of doing things on LinkedIn. It works pretty well, but as you grow your skill level and experience, expand to more automation and outsourcing. I personally have a team of virtual assistants that run all of this for me. They're based in the Philippines. They work really, really, really well. It has been a great experience for me to employ. In fact, I have a team of over 30 that are in the Philippines working on things for me almost 24/7. And it's been, for me, it's been actually a really, really fulfilling scenario because I've been able to give back to a less fortunate community and pay them pretty well and have a lot of fun and a lot of resources and honestly a lot of success doing it as well. So I also have, you heard me mention, I have my virtual assistants. Also, I have some in-house team members working on this. But then there's also automation programs. There's a program called dux-soup, D-U-X-S-O-U-P. This automates some of that connection request process. Now these programs are mostly made for the Sales Navigator platform, along with Linked Helper and Meet Leonard. There's a couple of these other products out there that are really, really good, but just keep in mind, a lot of them are made for LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So keep all that in mind as you go, and we can keep working on it together. If you have questions, feel free to add me on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I can answer them for you, and my team can also answer them for you. So I'm going to give you a few message script examples that we like to give. Keep in mind, give some people some stuff for free as much as you can, but the bottom line is you want to develop rapport, not try and sell them in the beginning at all, but as you go, you want to grow and get better and better. So here's a couple of examples that are things that we've used. You got your IT firm. You notice that I said that I came from the IT world initially. So I have a cybersecurity example. Hey, name, I was doing some research and I was able to see that your company isn't utilizing your product or service, which that's your product or service, which prevents hackers from accessing your internal network. Putting this, again, product or service is something, putting in this or putting this in place, whatever, you got to kind of make do with that. It's something we implement in that niche. And we've had great success. Remember, you're targeting specific verticals here, so this has to be edited. We are currently working with client names in their vertical that aren't competitors that they'd be familiar with. So, hey, we're working with Coca-Cola, Pepsi. We're working with Joe's Orthopedic Shack. I don't think there's any of those out there, but you get my point. And then if it makes sense for us to have a chat, let me know what your calendar looks like. If you aren't the right person, who should I reach out to? Notice those last two lines. You're saying, if it makes sense for us to have a chat, let me know what your calendar looks like. But if you're not the right person, can you please put me in contact with somebody that is good, right? That's really, really important too. So, and then thanks, your name. That's very simple. Also, the digital marketing agency example. I also happen to own a digital marketing agency. We do Facebook ads, Google ads, all kinds of different stuff, almost specifically to the plastic surgery industry, to the plastic surgeons themselves and their practices. So, Hey Name, I was doing some research, and this is actually a real live example from one of our clients, by the way. Hey Name, I was doing some research, and I was able to see that your company isn't using Facebook ads as a means of driving new traffic to your business. We recently created over 600 leads for Dr. Robert Whitfield in Austin that generated over $85,000 in new patient revenue. We are currently working with other names in your vertical that aren't competitors. Obviously, I mentioned Dr. Robert Whitfield earlier. If it makes sense for us to have a chat, let me know what your calendar looks like. If you aren't the right person, who should I reach out to? So you can see we have some things here that I'm doing it that way. I also really encourage to give them something that's really a value mindset. I really, really like that on the free version of LinkedIn. So we'll see what we got and keep going on that. So I want to just kind of go through how I think the cold lead blueprint message flow should look. And this is something that's really important. Obviously, you're tracking this, but bottom line is you're sending the connection request to your second and third degree connections. You're getting that message out there, and the message is going to be viewed. It might take a few attempts to get that message viewed. The lead is going to respond at some point. You're going to reply with your meeting request, and then that lead responds to that, and your meeting gets scheduled. This does take time, and it takes a good amount of effort, but these are things that absolutely, without question, do work, period. Okay, so keep that in mind, and we'll keep going. Let me get my mouse moved over here. Okay, so now I'm going to walk you guys through LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So let me get this open, and we're going to start kind of walking through LinkedIn Sales Navigator here, and I'm going to show you how to use this. And let me just stop my share on that real quick. You'll see me real big here. Let me get LinkedIn Sales Navigator separated over here. Let me pull this aside. Okay, I'm going to share this back out for you guys. Okay, so here's we're looking live at LinkedIn itself here. Let me just get that squared away, get these things moved over. Okay, so we're actually looking at LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn. And we're going to go to Sales Navigator. Now, keep in mind, Sales Navigator is a subscription. Okay, so that's one of the things that's important to remember about that. It is $80 a month for Sales Navigator, but to me, it's well worth this type of scenario. Okay, this is how I build perfect lists. Now, one of the things that I mentioned in my ads is that the best lists are built, not bought, in the video that I talk about in there. This is absolutely the case. So many businesses, including myself in the past, have bought really big lists, all this different stuff, and we have to go through, spend hours and hours and hours cleaning them and make sure they're right because they're rarely current. I used Hoover's a lot for my list building. It worked okay, but it was kind of a headache because Hoover's is owned by Dun & Bradstreet, which is, supposedly up to snuff, but honestly, they're just not that good. And that's one of the reasons why you want to say the best leads are built, not bought. The best lists are built, not bought. So one of the ways in Sales Navigator that I like to search for this is I like to just go and keep in mind this. You can search by keywords or Boolean search. And the Boolean search means you can do the and or not type mindset, and you can search for various different things. So I'm just going to go up here, and then I'm just going to click on literally search for leads right now. That's all I'm going to do. And you can see here in the Sales Navigator window, it's going to give me a huge region. Now it's just going to give me some random categories, company headcount, various other things. So I'm kind of going to remove all this. And what we're going to search for, and you can actually, if you look here in the search window, you can search some things that we've been searching for. I've been working with some people to where we have organic hair care, organic skincare, boutique, luxury. So let's just take, for argument's sake, let's just take the boutique one that we talked about earlier. You can see this one. So I'm just going to click on that, and you can actually see the things that we found and what we're looking for. So we're looking for, here we have our keyword, and then we also have the ability to search by company headcount. Now, one of the things that boutique comes from, boutique is usually considered very custom, it's very unique, and you probably want little bigger companies because in the scenario, if somebody's saying boutique, you surely don't want to have a headcount of 1 to 10. It's just not going to be a great fit for you. I mean, you can see there's tons and tons of them because anybody can call themselves boutique in any scenario. It really doesn't matter. There's also a lot of them that are 11 to 50. And you can see we have 13,000 that are 51 to 200, and then another 7,000 that are 201 to 500. So let's just say we were going to search for specific people in these different head counts. Okay, so now we have 20,122 leads. We have no specific geography, but let's say we wanted to go to a specific geography and just say, I'm in Austin, Texas. So let's just say Austin, Texas. So we'll say Austin, Texas area, and we'll leave that at that. Now this is going to come down to 164 results. These are real leads. Instead of us having to dive around and look for all these different leads, you can start to see we're seeing some different titles. We also have chosen seniority level, and I'm going to take those out of there and let's see what we got. We have 828. So we got some decent ones here, but you can even see Michael DeLuca here is probably not the best one. Resort boutique sales. If I was going to try and contact someone for lead gen to try and generate an appointment with a decision maker, none of these people really in the first group are people that I would want. You know, maybe this Leah Mize, she's owner at Flirt Boutique, CEO at Onnit Labs. Maybe a couple of these are decent, but honestly here, Sierra Shep at front desk staff at Hotel Ella, we definitely don't want to talk to her, that's for sure, because she's not going to give us anything relevant. So we're always going to try and look at either seniority level. You can also look at function. Some of these people have, you can just choose by group if you want to. You can also search by handwritten in titles. I usually like to say seniority level and say owner or add my CXO. This is usually usually where I like to be in that scenario. I like to look at those specific things. So now we're down to 164 results with boutique. And let's just look at what a couple of these are. And as we go through here, you can see we got broker in here at Vince Young Realty. We probably don't want him in there. So I'm actually going to say boutique. And then these are great. This is your Boolean search coming into place. So you say not broker. You could also say and broker or broker. You could say those kind of things, but we're going to remove broker out of there. So now we've removed another 6 people out of there. Let's look at some of these other ones. And maybe we'll say not vice president. So we'll take vice presidents out of there. We've moved down now. So that was a pretty good one. So you can see we got rid of a lot of those good ones, or a lot of those, kind of crappy ones. So we've removed vice presidents. We've removed any brokers out of here. And now we start to look at our list here. Look at all these. We got C-level, CFO, managing partner, CEO, owner, founder and CEO, COO, CEO, VP strategic development. He may not be the best. So in fact, I'm going to take not VP. I'm going to take that out of there as well. So now we're on to 111. So this is how you search and you start to build these amazing lists and how it can be really, really functional. So you can see here we got managing partner, COO, CEO, principal, president and CEO, owner, master stylist, fellow. He may not be anything good. So maybe we take fellow out of there too. But I think you're starting to get the idea here. We're creating a lot of really, really good stuff by giving some Boolean search options by saying we're looking at a general region. Now we could also look at a specific industry if we wanted to, and I'll walk you through that in here in a second as well. But we've reduced it to the company headcount. We've reduced it to CXO and owner. And then we've taken the Boolean search and we've used things like we want boutique, but we don't want brokers. We don't want vice presidents. We don't want VPs. And maybe we don't want, let's see, there was another one in here that we said we didn't like. What was that? That was fellow. So let's say fellow. Let's take fellow out of there too. So not fellow. So let's see, we're probably going to have 110. Oh, 106. So we removed another 5. So, the bottom line is we're trying to clarify this and make it even better. Now, if you really want to be tight on this, you notice that we have 106 total results, but we have 16 that posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. These are people that are clearly active. These are people that are going to potentially be someone that's going to more likely respond to you, more than likely respond to you. So this is pretty important. So now we've taken all of our search options and we've narrowed that down and we've said, hey, here's the people that are actually going to probably respond because they're active on LinkedIn. That's pretty important, right? So we got some really good leads here, some really good potentials. These are ways that you can, and Sales Navigator, again, I'm not going to go through a ton of stuff today, but you can save these leads. You can connect with them right here if you wanted to. You can also send them an in-mail. Now keep in mind, I recommend connecting kind of with some of the scripts we had earlier before sending them an in-mail. An in-mail is going to be something that comes along with LinkedIn Premium, and it is ice cold. It is ice cold. I like to do a little connection first with a connection message and then send them a message later. That connection message, again, is giving something completely free of value. And then that second message is some of the script examples that I gave you. I got a really special script example pack that I'm going to be giving you guys at the end here to potentially grab. So let's see what we move forward. So you can also save each one of these. You can also add a tag. So if you wanted to add a tag, you could say decision maker. You could tag follow-up. You could manage all these different things, and then you can just down here and manage your tag list. So these are ways for either you or, and I really recommend in the early days, and make sure you read this inside of my Ultimate LinkedIn Strategy Guide that you're going to grab at the end of this webcast. These are ways that you can track this, and I really recommend in the beginning you do all this yourself, because you have to kind of build a system. You have to build a process around this, and then you can maybe, as you go, export this to some of your people or outsource it to another firm, or maybe outsource it to maybe, like the VAs, the virtual assistants that I have. So those are all some options. And you can also then save this search so you can come back to it later. So we could call this boutique, Austin, etc. Right? So that's a way to do that. You can see we have a ton of them that are just running all the time. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to do another example. Let me kind of clear all this out. Let's bounce all this down out of here. And I'm also not going to show you guys the tools today, but dux-soup, again, linked helper, some of these other ones, they work really well in Sales Navigator, but you got to be careful because they have limits. LinkedIn has limits, and they're starting to crack down a little bit more and more and more on allowing people to do all this automation. So just be super careful about doing this, because you surely don't want to get your account banned. I have a lot of people that want to do that. You're more than welcome to. I'm not going to stop you. But most of my stuff is actually done pretty native now by our teams, doing it exactly the way I just showed you. So let's pick out another one that we looked at. So this is here, we're looked at organic hair care. This is actually a really good one. You can see here that we're looking at organic hair care. We had company headcount of 1 to 10, 11 to 50. This was actually for my social media manager, Shelby. She was wanting to potentially sell to more organic or more beauty product industries. So that's kind of what we started looking up here. She's telling me she can't find anybody on LinkedIn, and I showed her this, and this is kind of where we came from. So this is where you're looking for organic hair care again. And maybe you'd say not boutique in this, and you can see we got to find the right people. Let's just see if we have any of these other ones. One of the things that I would want to see is maybe in here, not Rodan, because you don't want Rodan and Fields, not boutique. Let's see what we got here then. Oh, something just broke. I broke LinkedIn. I don't know what happened there. Let's see. Maybe I can break it again. That's awesome. Okay, well, I broke LinkedIn. So let's kind of come back and look at organic skincare. Maybe that'll be better. Okay, there we go. So you can see here, this one, we have 1 to 10, 11 to 50, 51 to 200, and then we're looking for organic skincare. And let's maybe look at some of the ones that we don't want here. And this is maybe another one. We don't necessarily want a regional sales manager. You don't want a sales manager or a sales trainer. So we could take sales trainer out of there for sure. So we can say, I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to say organic skincare, not sales trainer, and then I'll hit enter. And now we're down to 3,325. Now keep in mind, that is United States. That is national. That's all over the place. We don't want any distributors. You can see this one is not necessarily a very good one. We could make these so the United States only. That's the way you can do it if you wanted to. So here's our United States ones. That was worldwide, keep in mind. So now we're United States only. And now we got president, business owner. Now we could actually make, you can also go to the view all filters option if you want to, and you can start to look at some of these other options to where you can actually potentially look at specific industries. You can look at years in position, current position, function. You can make these companies so they are a specific company name if you wanted to do that. So there's a lot of different things that you can search for here You can look at past companies. You can look at all this different stuff. You can look at company type too. This is actually a really good one. I like privately held on this one, or potentially, I'm not a big fan of cell phone, but you can look at partnership here. Now we have 1,196 results. So we're just, the whole point of this is to narrow it down as much as you can, look at the stuff you want. And then as you go into these leads, and you can see here, we got Scott Mitchell, CEO of It's Simply Organic Beauty. Simply Organic Beauty is 51 to 200 employees. This is a lot of information. It's a tremendous amount of information that you can use to build your lists. And one of the best ways you can do that is to actually do that, connect here, and then LinkedIn gives you the power to go into your connections and actually export them. So we can go over that in a little bit later webinar as well, but that's exactly how you build your lists and how to make it super, super, super powerful using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, okay? So let me kind of pop back. 3 things that I've covered here so far: how to build a great strategy using LinkedIn. You're doing your 50 to 100 connection requests daily. That's really, really critical. Also, you're giving you some sample message scripts. I've shown you how to build a really, really great list, and I've shown you how to do some cold messaging techniques. Now I'm going to show you one more thing here really quick, and then I'm going to let you guys on your way. I know we don't want to be here super long, so let me just come back to my slideshow. Remember that I was sitting at the LinkedIn Sales Navigator screen. So I want to introduce you guys to my brand new kit. It's called my LinkedIn and Cold Email Message Script Kit. This is an amazing product. It's kind of like all the different things that I had previously. You saw those 2 samples along with the Ultimate Sales Guide. These are the scripts that I've actually used to grow both my digital marketing agency and my consulting firm to 7 figures in under 2 years. You can run it off your phone. You see I got a picture of a phone there. You can run it off your phone. You can run it off an iPad. You can run this stuff from anywhere. You can implement these scripts directly with the above systems I mentioned, and you can watch your conversions skyrocket. These are sample script sets that work really, really well. They're easy. You don't have to think about creating your own stuff. And what's even better is once you grab this, I have continuing updates. In fact, I just hired someone today to write us 20 more scripts for this script kit, and they'll just come added on. So as you buy, it gets included. And absolutely LinkedIn works, but also remember that these scripts really work on Facebook for cold messaging. They work on cold email, which is a really big part of my business as well. And then they use for other platforms. There's Alignable, there's Shaper, there's all these other apps that are coming out specifically for lead gen. I know there's Bumble Business and all this other different stuff that are coming strictly for business to business people to do lead gen. So keep that in mind. So this script kit normally sells for $297. You can get it today for only $47. This is a very, very reasonably priced kit. Just one of these scripts is worth well more than that. It's easily the way to really, really supercharge your cold messaging and even your lukewarm messaging platform. You can head on over to linkedacademy.co. It's www.linkedacademy.co/scripts. Linked Academy is my LinkedIn course. I would love to have you guys a part of that as well. But for your script kit, head over to linkedacademy.co/scripts. Remember, $47. Honestly, that is not an offer that's going to last long. We are only going to offer probably 300 of these out to the public, and then the price is going to go up. So grab it today if you're interested. We'd love to have you take a look at that. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment underneath this webcast, and I'll do what I can to answer them for you, and my team will hit it as well. For those of you that stayed with me here to the end, I have the prize that I promised you from the beginning, your ultimate LinkedIn sales guide. Please take a look at that bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/ultimate-sales-guide. So you're welcome to go ahead and download that. Would love to have you guys in my platform, in my community. We have an amazing mastermind course, or mastermind system with the Linked Academy. So all that being said, again, I'm going to bounce back really quick, show you guys this. You can get the perfect LinkedIn messaging script today, for only, keep bouncing around the wrong way, $47. And would love to have you guys on that. Would love to see it. Again, go to linkedacademy.co/scripts, www.linkedacademy.co/scripts. And then here is your ultimate sales guide URL. If you guys got questions, put it under the webinar, and we'll see you soon. Chris Weiser signing out. You guys keep crushing it. Have a good night.